The fact is, people seem to really frickin' love Valorant. It offers players a way more digestible introduction into the TAC FPS genre than, say, Counter-Strike. And not only that, but a much more vibrant and visually appealing atmosphere where unique agent abilities have helped Riot distance themselves from the game's originator.
I don't follow CS anymore because it's too realistic and dark for me nowadays. Now that I've played the Child games for so long, I cannot take how gritty and dark CS is.
But just like most games, Valorant is filled with various cosmetic microtransactions. From player cards to gun skins and even gun buddies, players are able to express themselves in a number of different ways. And in this case, let me tell you, Valorant players really love to express themselves. Suffice it to say, there are some real skin fiends out there.
My name is You're Not Justin. I'm in the pursuit of buying every single skin in Valorant. And to do that, every single week I'm going to put $100 on my account and buy the skins that are in my store. So you, the viewer, can see every single skin, and so I can own every single skin.
But there's something odd about Valorant's weapon skins in particular. You see, for some reason, the community is convinced that they're pay to win.
Anybody who tells me that the skins don't feel different, they're drunk. They're playing a different game.
Yeah, I think some skins are pay to win.
I personally feel like Valorant is pay to win.
Yes, Valorant is pay to win.
So why is it that so many pro players, content creators, even casual players all seem to agree that skins equal wins? Hell, even Valorant's devs are playing along. But you gotta ask, is there any truth to this ridiculous claim?
I mean, our skins are pay to win. Just make wide joy wide, make our hitbox wider. I don't
know.
Okay, so before we dive into the world of Valorant skins, please do your boy a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Also, if you are interested in acquiring a Riot gun buddy, be sure to DM my boy Colten on Twitter at @theonlyzoltan. I hear he only has like 50, so you gotta get in there hard, and you gotta get in there fast.
Thanks, Dimitri.
Alright, so let's get to the bottom of this. Why is it that ever since Valorant's first official release back in June of 2020, when we first got our hands on the Prime Vandal, everyone has been suggesting that the game's skins actually make you play better? Since the very first gun bundle came out, players have noticed that certain skins just hit different. From Prime, Oni, Reaver, Ion, and more recently RGX, there is a near endless list of so-called pay-to-win skins in Valorant. Now, if you buy the bundles while they're still in the shop, then you can consider yourself lucky, because once they're gone, it could be months before you see them again. Just ask my dude Shaz, whose longing for the Ion Sheriff became a community-wide meme.
I couldn't get the skin for so long that I wanted it more every time. There's literally a Twitter account made, has Shaz gotten the Ion Sheriff yet? And stuff, so like, it built a lot of, there's a lot of drama surrounding me trying to get the Ion Sheriff every day. Every day I check the shop, and every day I was disappointed for 9 months.
Now, Shazzy isn't alone here. Many members of the Valorant community are just hopelessly addicted to buying skins. Some of them check their shop at the exact same time each and every day, only to have disappointment coming crashing down over them. But when that one skin finally shows up, it is f***ing glorious.
Ah! No way! Let's go! Oh my god! What the f***? Oh, I'm lightheaded!
So, with pay-to-win cosmetics being such a point of discussion within the community, we took it upon ourselves to get to the bottom of things. And we figured, who better to ask than Riot themselves? We recently spoke with Valorant's producer for premium content, Preeti Kanolkar, and the game's associate art director, Sean Marino, to get a better idea of how a skin bundle is built from the ground up. And here's what they had to say.
There's a lot of different ways we come up with different skin ideas. The kind of exciting one that I think people will find really interesting is like getting into a room and everyone writes down like sticky notes of like different ideas and looks at different art books and looks at the internet, put all the stickies up on the wall, and then we vote on which ones we think are cool. And then if you're really passionate about an idea, you claim it as your own, and then you put together this like 5-minute presentation of like why we must make this skin, why players will love it, why it's exciting, what features would exist. And then based on that, we kind of decide what would be the right thing to make.
Okay, so now we know how these bundles get from point A to point B, but we wanted to ask pros, content creators, even casters, why it is they feel that certain bundles give an added advantage. And some of them couldn't really explain it.
The protocol bundle that just came out, I bought it immediately, and I pretty much like already got to like a Radiant, I'm like Radiant 78 or something. Like I was literally winning games that I had no business winning. Like we would be clutching 1v5s, and it just doesn't make sense. It's almost as if like games are easier.
But for others, there was a pretty common theme underlying their answers.
The sounds, that's where it is.
Having those sick sound effects, having those sick finishers, having those sick kill sounds, and the bullets and everything is huge for me. The sound is the biggest thing for me.
Audio seems to be the #1 thing on people's minds when they pick up a skin for the first time. Sure, there can be fun visual effects associated with your weapon, and some tracers might be easier to see than others, but if it doesn't sound sick, it's not up to snuff. So how does Riot ensure that they're not creating skins that sort of accidentally put players at a disadvantage? Well, that's where the game's associate art director, Sean, helped provide some insight.
I mean, performance, competitive integrity, and like just how visually appealing it, like all of that stuff tying together is like always the thing that we're trying to balance. The #1 thing that we always like come back to at the end and just say like, is this where it needs to be, is like the audio. Right, like firing sounds or equip sounds. Like if there's something off about that, we're usually tuning that up to the very end, just because it's the thing that can cause like the biggest impact for someone not wanting to use a skin or wanting to, right, if they really like it. But we just want to make sure that that's really balanced out.
Now, although Riot has made it explicitly clear that none of the skins in Valorant are actually pay to win, and we're obviously not suggesting that they are, there is something to be said for the different kill sounds in the game. Some players hear the sound of a double kill or a triple kill and eventually want to push to hear the sweet sound of an ace. If you ask me, the E minor scale that builds with every kill is the best thing about Valorant and has been around since the beta.
I swear on my life, I cannot aim with... Dude, I feel like sometimes I'm nuts with the default skins, but I think it's a mental thing with the noises. I swear the noises make me aim differently, because like when I get a kill with the Prime versus the default skin, I feel like the default skin is so like... You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like boring. It's like, it doesn't help me. Like, but like when I shoot with like the Prime or like the Reaver, or like anything with noises, it stimulates my brain and gets me going like 2,000 miles per hour.
Realistically, in reality, Valorant is technically not pay to win. Theoretically, anything you can do with one skin, you can't pull off with the default skin. But does it sound cool though? Like in your brain, in my brain, there's something like there's some neurons firing when it hears the Prime Vandal just going pew pew pew. Like that makes me want to just lock in, dial in, and just shoot more, right? It's almost synonymous to like your teammate going nice after a sick kill. It makes you want to dial in and go for more.
Of course, there have been cases in other games where skins actually have given players an unfair advantage, but the list is pretty long and inexhaustible. So to help us expunge it, I'm gonna bring in my boy Colten.
And now, the guy who actually knows what he's talking about.
So, in case it wasn't obvious, I can't get you a riot gun, buddy. But still hit my Twitter, because the fact that Dimitri is the only verified member on the crack team is honestly a tragedy. Man, what did I do in a past life to get myself roped into yet another script where I'm forced to talk about Valorant guns? I will admit, the last one ended up being pretty interesting, and I learned a lot about Valorant's netcode. So if you want to know more about how your bullets go from the barrel of your Prime Vandal to the wall beside your opponent's head, then you should check out our episode on the Phantom versus the Vandal. And not to double up on the shameless plugs, but we actually did an entire top 10 episode looking at the most notorious banned skins in esports. So yes, Dimitri, there actually is a fairly long list of cosmetic items so game-breaking that they've been banned in competition. The internet's favorite punching bag, League of Legends, has seen skins like Elementalist Lux, Blitzcrank, and Justicar Syndra banned because of their buggy and altogether difficult to see animations. In the FPS world, we saw the Ember Rise and Shattered Web player skins from Rainbow Six Siege and CSGO respectively, banned for making you basically invisible in the right circumstances. Turns out being able to see your opponent in an FPS is kind of important.
He looks like a fucking flower pot. Dude, how can this be a thing? This man is literally a flower pot.
You know what the best part is? V2 gave us the money to buy the skin as a business expense because it was necessary to win.
Secure the bomb.
They paid us money to buy the Ember Rise skin. Like, they didn't give us, they just paid the skin for us because it was necessary to win because everybody else is using it.
So is Rito about to ban your favorite Phantom skin? Well, that seems pretty unlikely. While you can see performance increases when you're feeling good, and certain sounds, animations, and colors can help your focus and immersion, that's still a long way from being considered potentially game-breaking, especially when the experience with a particular skin is so dependent on the individual player. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We've actually got everyone's favorite professor coming up to give you guys a bit of a deeper dive on that one. So calling the Valorant skins pay-to-win is really just hyperbole. It's rooted, however loosely, in some truth, but at the end of the day should be kept in context with what an actual game-breaking cosmetic does to a game. I know that wasn't the super technical deep dive you guys are used to from me, but what do you want? They made me talk about Valorant skins. If you have any cool tech-related esports stuff you want us to talk about, then you should drop it in the comments, so I can steal it and pitch it to the team. And maybe I won't have to talk about Attack Shooter for a change.
And that was the guy who actually knows what he's talking about.
So players are clearly experiencing some sort of psychological response when using their favorite skins. But what exactly is going on within our brains when we go pew pew with our favorite cosmetics? Well, to help us find out, we reached out to longtime friend of Cracked, Dr. Madison Klarkowski, a professor of computer science at the University of Saskatchewan who specializes in computer-human interaction. She's an OG. You may remember her from previous episodes of Cracked. She suggested that players who feel that certain skins are pay to win maybe entering a sort of flow state when using them and experiencing a heightened sense of focus and in some cases an increased level in performance.
So if paid cosmetics are better at providing this feedback to a player, whether that's objectively or subjectively, it may be more likely to induce a flow experience for the player, which then can lead to them feeling like or actually performing better. I say objectively or subjectively because people do have different preferences for different audio cues, for different visual cues. So while the default skin might be, perfecto for some people, it could be that, a paid skin really clicks for other people in enhancing that user experience, which again might lead to the flow experience as well.
But what if the skin in question didn't provide positive feedback for someone? I'm sure many of you have your own list of pay-to-lose skins, and Madison's concept of flow state can be applied in the exact same way. If a skin's audio feels too loud, or maybe the animations are too distracting, then a player might not receive the same positive response that is needed to help them enter their flow state.
The Arcane Sheriff, I swear everyone I've ever seen use a Sheriff, including myself, shoots faster, like because of the animation or something. Like they don't wait for the accuracy to reset. I think it's the Origin off that has the most disgusting noise ever. Every time I pick it up, it makes me not want to shoot the gun.
There's some gun skins that you just pick it up and you're just like, oh my god, like this guy couldn't have had any other skin. Like, for example, the Glitch Pop Vandal. I don't know how people use the Glitch Pop bundle. That gun just, too much movement. It's literally all over the place. I can't use it. I can't use it.
So, are Valorant skins actually pay to win? Or, in some cases, pay to lose? Of course not. Riot always keeps competitive integrity in mind when adding new cosmetics to their shooter. But what's really cool is that both the community and Riot themselves can joke about this together. It shows that the devs really do care a ton about the player base and the culture that they're building around the game.
It's awesome that we can talk about this, like about like, oh, our skins pay to win, because like to me that's like a signal of like we've done exactly what we set out to do, which is like we can joke around about skins being pay to win because Valorant is so serious about competitive integrity. Like we would not be able to make these jokes if there was any hint of like unfairness in our game in that sense. So like I love that we can be tongue-in-cheek about this. So first of all, like thank you for talking to us about this, and also I'm super glad that we can talk about this.
And while they might not all be for me, this show's producer, Keith, and our resident Valorant writer, Niall, are all addicted to Valorant skins. They're unlike any other in-game cosmetic precisely because there's something for everyone out there. Whether you like the loud thud of a Prime Vandal, the ring of a bell from a Reaver, or even the sound of Nerf darts, every single player has their own pay-to-win skin. Sometimes, if you look good and you feel good, it's enough to be good. So next time, make an effort to grab that brand new weapon skin off your enemy's corpse. Because who knows, it might just help you close out that clutch. If you are interested in acquiring a Riot gun buddy, be sure to DM my boy Colten on Twitter at @theonlyzoltan.
God. The only thing I hate more than Valorant scum are Valorant scum that can't shut the fuck up about the Riot scum.
That's the end word. That's the end word. Based.